Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Halloween. And welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living and to our Facebook Live service. We're a Science of Mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Sandy Liebold. Oh, wait a minute. I'm actually the Greek goddess Athena this morning. I'm the Greek goddess Athena who serves as one of the licensed practitioners here on the Center's ecclesiastical team, and it's my honor to welcome you. I invite you to find out more about us on our website at cslportland.org. Under the About Us menu tab, you'll find a lot of information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. The website also gives details about the various activities we have going on here at the center. Also on our website, you can sign up to receive email subscriptions. Again, on the homepage, scroll down, and on the right-hand side, there's a place where you can sign up. Our subscription options include, firstly, a weekly mailing list, email listing of our events and services. So you always are in the know about what's going on here at the center. We also have a free program that you can sign up for called 365 Earnest Homes. In this program, you'll receive a daily Earnest Homes affirmation sent directly to your email inbox. These feature a lovely background picture and some reflective material provided by our very own Reverend Larry King. You can also enter your birthday in order to receive an e-card and gift on your birthday. I'd also like to highlight several announcements this morning. You've already found us here for Sunday services on Facebook Live, and we will continue to be here on Facebook Live at 11 a.m. Also, though, starting next Sunday, November 7th, we are reopening in the sanctuary to in-person attendance. Yay! The musicians are happy to be able to play to more live humans. Everyone will need to be masked, and if you forget your mask, we will have extras on hand. Our recorded services will also continue to be presented on YouTube and also via the podcast that you can get. Audio podcast, which is available through our website. There will be a Wednesday night meditation upcoming on Zoom at 7 p.m. Pacific time. This week, licensed practitioner Kathy Batten is leading a meditation entitled Peace of Mind Through Self-Forgiveness. And so that will be an opportunity to go deeper with our own work on self-forgiveness. Friday Lunch with Reverend Larry continues. This is a weekly Zoom event every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. You can bring your lunch or not, but it's a great opportunity to check in with Reverend Larry and other members of our congregation. We also have online Zoom groups for our Social Justice Book Club and for our 12-step program for women, which are both facilitated by licensed practitioner Nancy Ashley. This Saturday, the Social Justice Book Club will be meeting to discuss the book Your Resonant Self by Sarah Payton. Everyone is welcome, even if you hadn't had a chance to read the book yet. We've already started our fall connection circles, but it's not too late to sign up and get connected. We still have openings in our circles on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and Friday morning. These virtual circles are a wonderful way of going deeper in the Sunday message with like-minded people and just creating community. And what a beautiful thing to be able to do that via Zoom. If you're interested, please sign up again on our website at cslportland.org. And it's also not too late to include in your plans our Halloween party, which right after service today at 12:30 Pacific, Reverend Larry and I will be hosting a Zoom-based Halloween party. We'll do trivia, we'll have fun games. There's going to be a special appearance by the Masked Singer. So please, costumed or not, feel free to join us. you can get the Zoom link by, again, going on our website. And Reverend Larry's now going to come up and talk a little bit about our educational offerings.
And I want you to take me very seriously, if you don't mind. More about the Halloween costume later. Let's just say I'll hop up and do the educational announcements. So we do have a couple of fall education announcements that are still in progress. First of all, today, we're going to be covering the idea of forgiveness, but if you are, wow. Now I have the voice of God. I like that. Now I really can hop up and talk about the power of forgiveness. So we are hosting a one-day workshop. Reverend Marilyn Sprague is teaching the power of forgiveness, walking in the light of love. It's a one-day Saturday workshop on November 13th. Forgiveness is letting go of the burden of the past, and it's the power to release anything that keeps us bound to people and circumstances and past behavior. It frees us from hurts and the resentments and allows us to step into the light of love and abundance available to everyone in the now moment. Also, just starting this coming week, a Coping with Grief Circle facilitated by licensed practitioner and end-of-life coach Ann Forrest Burns. It starts this next Sunday, November 7th, 3:30 to 5 p.m. The circle meets Sundays weekly until December 19th, and you have Thanksgiving weekend off. This circle, it's limited to just 8 participants. It's for anyone coping with a loss. Might be a loved one, a relationship, a job. It might just be our lost normalcy from the pandemic. There's still a couple of places open and urges you to register very soon. She has a workbook that she's planning on mailing out to folks, and you'll need to get it before November 7th. So the registration link is on our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Larry. Those all sound like, as usual, interesting opportunities to go deeper. Today, I hope people can see that we have flowers that are in this beautiful fall Halloween display by our wonderful Kat Jacobs, who provides flowers for us all the time. Thank you again, Kat. Next Sunday, November 7th, is worth noting for at least 3 reasons. One is it's the beginning of standard time. So this is when we fall back an hour, set your clocks back an hour, and so that will help us be on time for church. And remember, the second piece of that is that we will also be open here in the sanctuary to in-person attendance. So that's always a little confusing every year with people showing up at the slightly different time. But anyway, that's a good reminder that we're going to be in person and on time and with our masks on. Also, next Sunday, the 7th, we will be having a town hall meeting at 12:30 after our celebration service. This will be available for people to join us on Zoom or in person upstairs at the center. So either way, please join us. And today, I'm so pleased to know that our special music is being provided by Lo Steele, and she's being accompanied by the other Friends band members. So glad to have all of those folks here. And today's message is Forgiveness Sets You Free by Reverend Larry King. So please now just sit back and relax, because I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came here to receive.
It is not I, but the Spirit within. who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God.
And so now let's just take a moment to anchor ourselves in prayer. It is that one Spirit that lives within me, that lives within you, that lives within each and every person, place, and thing on this planet. It is this one power, this one presence, this one love that pervades and energizes absolutely everything in the world. This divine energy is God, is Spirit, and it is everywhere present, right here and right now. And I know that as that is true, that there is only one thing happening. I know that that is true of me, and it is true of each of us. We are all emanations of that one divine power, that one divine presence, that one divine love. That is our true nature. That is what animates and motivates us as we move through our lives. And I know today I speak a word for the aspects of Spirit that are wisdom, that is compassion, that is kindness, that is forgiveness. All these qualities are available to me at any moment because they are in me, they are of me, and all I need do is align myself with those principles, with those aspects of God, and therefore I can manifest that in the world at any moment. And so as I am kind to myself, I am kind to others. As I'm compassionate with myself, I am compassionate with others. As I forgive myself, I can forgive others. And as I do, the world becomes a better place. I'm so grateful for this knowledge. So grateful for this opportunity to align right now with these principles. And I'm so grateful to know that this prayer, like all prayers, is immediately answered with a resounding yes by the law of mind, that aspect of spirit that always answers all prayers. And so now I release this and just say, thanks be, blessed be, and together we say, and so it is. And now I invite you just to stay in this place of deep connection while we engage in a little bit of silent meditation.
I forgive them. I forgive you. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. Ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. Oh, I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. Yes, I am. I'm ready for my change.
Let's see if I can get my mask off here. This could be a job. You know, today we're really featuring our band, and in particular Ken Brewer. And, you know, it occurred to me the other day, I think that he has been here more often than I have. And I just want to thank you so much, Ken, for being such a talent for us. Many of you may not know he arranges most of the songs that the band plays. Not only is he a talented performer here in town and about town. In fact, this summer, I swear every place I turned, there you were, whether it was in a park or whether it was in an inside venue. And but I bet a lot of you don't know he's also a very talented music teacher. I have the honor of having him giving me guitar lessons right now. So thank you for so many ways for your talent and your generosity with your time, Ken. Welcome, everyone, and happy Halloween. I promise I will give you the full lowdown, and so will the goddess Athena at our party at 12:30. So I hope you'll all be joining us at 12:30 for our Halloween party. But really today, I'm going to be talking about forgiveness. We've been using Julia Cameron's book, The Prosperous Heart, through this month, and she devotes an entire chapter to this idea of forgiveness. And she starts it in a little bit of a circuitous way. You'll remember last week we talked about the idea that kindness was king, that one of the ways to open our hearts, one of the ways to make sure we're ready to receive the riches of the universe, whether that's a richness of love, or a richness of money, a richness of joy, was to show kindness to ourselves and to others. She starts this chapter on forgiveness in an interesting way. She talks about one of the final kindnesses that we probably really need to examine, and it does involve forgiveness, is the associations we make with people in our lives. And she singles out those groups of people or those people in our lives that tend to be on the negative side. Who here has a friend, maybe a good friend, maybe a relationship with a loved one, and that relationship seems full of negative energy? Now, it may be that the people you're involved with, have that situation where gossip is involved or tearing down other people. Maybe it's just negativity around life. It seems like everything that comes out of their mouth is in that negative vein, complaining about things, complaining about life. Well, Julia Cameron says that one element of kindness that is so important to ourselves is that ability to even edit our friendships and relationships. Have you thought about what it does to your heart and your spirit to be bathed in negativity? Now, you might say this is a kindness just to yourself, that by unplugging from some of these relationships, you're only being kind to yourself and you're leaving out the other person. I would suggest that we look at that again. I would suggest that negativity, for negativity's sake, is harmful for everyone. And you have, first of all, that choice. Well, are the two of us going to be negative together? Am I going to be brought down in that sense of lowering my expectations for life, lowering my commitment to living a full life? Am I going to lower it to meet their energy level, to participate in the complaining, to participate in the gossip? Or am I going to disengage with that? And disengaging with that, I think, sends some positive messages to the other person. It isn't cutting them out of our lives so much as it is an invitation to lighten up. It's the invitation to readdress the way that we participate from each other. You can even use some gentle coaching words. I don't really think we need to tear somebody down here to have a good time today. Let's talk about something a little more positive, shall we? I think we have the opportunity not to just leave people behind, but invite them to follow us into a more positive lifestyle. Well, now that we're going to move into the idea truly of forgiveness, I want to read something from the book here on forgiveness. She says, there are few emotions as uncomfortable as resentment. An old saying sums it up so well. We drink the poison and then we wait for the other person to die. Resenting others, we simply poison ourselves. When our energy is spent on imaginary fights with those who have wronged us, we are not present in our day-to-day life. We have poisoned our own well. And then she goes on to say, there are always those one or two people we are so sure have wronged us. And it's true, they may well be. But so are we, as long as we are stewing in resentments toward them, going back over what they have done, or jumping into the future, fantasizing about what they might do. As long as these people are living rent-free in our minds, we are not free to prosper. Now, I know some of you are saying that there are people in my life that just don't deserve to be forgiven, right? I'm sure we can all think of someone who has done something so wrong, just so terribly wrong that they don't deserve the forgiveness. And I will leave that up to Spirit, right? I do believe in a cosmic law of cause and effect. I think that God will take care of any causation here, of anything that needs to happen to that person. I don't think that's my job. I think that's between the other person and Spirit. If there's some atonement that needs to be made, if there's some cosmic forgiveness, I know that God will be right there and trusting that relationship with the other person. But what I do know is when I harbor resentments, when I refuse to forgive in my own heart, the only one that's really suffering is me. The only one that really suffering is me. Does holding a resentment have any particular impact on that person that we're resenting? Not really. Oftentimes they don't even know that it's still a thing for us, right? It is simply in our own heart where we have put shackles on, where we're allowing them to fill our mind, to fill our activities, to lower our energy, to do those things that are apt to keep the good life at arm's length. The other thing, though, that I want to talk about that perhaps is even more important than forgiving others is forgiving ourselves. And I think maybe it's time to cover our joke for today. So when a couple had been married for a little while, the husband did something pretty rotten. They talked about what had happened. They talked about how they felt about it. He realized the impact of what he had done, and he sincerely apologized to his wife. His wife accepted this apology, saying, I think our policy should just be to forgive and to forget. Well, many years went by, and the husband couldn't help but notice that every now and then, the wife would bring up this transgression, not in a nasty way, mind you, but certainly in a way that made the husband think again of that terrible mistake. Well, one day the event was mentioned again by his wife. Honey, he said gently, I thought our motto was to forgive and to forget. That's right, she said, smiling, but I want to make sure that you remember that I've forgiven and forgotten. And so I think this pertains not only to forgiving others, but to forgiving ourselves. How many resentments do we have that we still bring up from time to time that we've not forgotten, that still occupy space in our time? Now, we don't often or don't usually think of resentments against ourselves. And so a resentment, I think, is more likely that we have for someone else. But what about a regret? A regret is simply a resentment against ourselves. What are some of the regrets that you have? Do you regret a relationship that went wrong? Do you regret a bad financial decision? Do you regret maybe taking on a job that wasn't really cut out for you? Do you regret the way you handled maybe a situation with a loved one or a coworker? I don't think it's surprising that we do have things that we regret from time to time, but do those things occupy your mind? Do you find yourself replaying events from years ago, somehow in your mind thinking that maybe if I just puzzle through it enough time, I'll realize that I'm off the hook, or I'll realize that something different could have happened? It's almost as though you're replaying the past, trying to make it be different. But of course, what I know is that the past is the past. As much as we would like to perhaps edit parts of our lives, right? As a novelist, it's so fun. Of course, I put my friends, I put people I know and events that I know into some of my novels. And it's so fun to rewrite them, right? It's fun to make the bad characters even worse than they are in real life. It's fun to make the good characters extra good. It's fun to rewrite some of the scenes so that they come out differently than what I experienced them. It's fun to highlight the emotions. But what I know is I write fantasy. Replaying things over and over again in my mind, hoping for different results. This is not going to happen. The past is past. And so in the same way that we would free up our mind by forgiving someone else, I'm here to suggest today that we need to let go of those wishful ideas about the past. We need to let go of the resentments that we have, the regrets that we have about things that we have done ourselves. And so moving forward, I'd like to talk a little bit about the path that we can take to forgiveness. And I think this works equally well whether you're forgiving someone else or you're forgiving yourself. And the first thing that people will always ask is, well, how do I even know that I need to forgive, right? Because I don't think forgiveness is one of those one and done situations. I don't think we can just say, oh yeah, I forgive so-and-so and never think about it again. And that's our key. Back to the joke. Can we forgive and forget? Because my thought is, if that event, if that person, if that situation comes back into my mind again, and it occupies my mind, I replay the event, my guess is there is some forgiveness work still to be done. I may have made a good effort at it. I may have thought that forgiveness was complete, but what I know is if it's still occupying my mind, if it's still draining my energy, if it's still there as alive today with feeling and power over my emotions, then I am not finished with it. There is still forgiveness work to do. And whether that forgiveness is around someone else or whether that forgiveness is around mistakes that I myself have made, it's time for another round. It's time to look at it once more. And so I do have some ideas for you. First of all, I think it's important that we acknowledge what happened. Part of this circular motion in my mind is almost to deny it, right? I didn't have a part in this. I was the innocent victim. Well, I doubt very often that we are completely innocent of everything that happened to us. Now, I'm not trying to say that we should blame ourselves for everything that happens to us, but we have our part of everything that happens to us. And so I think initially forgiveness is owning up to our part of it. Whether we're forgiving someone else or whether we're forgiving ourselves, we had a role to play. And the first place is to acknowledge what happened as best we can, and to own up to our own place in it. Yes, I am human. Yes, I make mistakes. Yes, I find myself in inappropriate situations, and maybe I don't get out of them as well as I could. Maybe I am one to stand up and fight when it's appropriate, but also when it's not appropriate. All of these are amazing human characteristics, and they're all worthy of acknowledging and forgiving. The other thing, once you have acknowledged your part in what has happened and really accepted that what happened did happen in the past, but it happened, Next up is the time to make some kind of a statement or claim of forgiveness. And you can do this in a variety of ways. I've seen people write letters to the person that they are forgiven. The letters don't have to be mailed, right? I've seen people perhaps pray around the idea of forgiveness. And I want to spend just a moment talking about that, because I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, the prayer would be for myself, right? If I'm choosing to forgive, the prayer would be for Larry to forgive this other person. I don't think that would be actually as positive or useful as praying for the other person. Now think about this for a minute. You might say, well, they don't deserve my prayer. And if that thought crosses your mind, I would say, okay, there we are then, right? In the very nature of forgiveness itself. What I would suggest, though, if you want to forgive someone else, do a prayer of love and life for that person. I bless you, I raise you, I praise you. I know the best for you. I give up my need to somehow see a punishment here. I give up the negative energy that I've been holding in my mind for you. I simply wish you well. I simply pray for your own release. I pray for your happiness. And what I know is, as we can pray with authenticity for someone else, Spirit steps in. We get the benefit of that prayer too. One of the things that practitioners, especially new practitioners, always observe is when they are praying for other people, they get the receipt of those prayers as well. Because because Spirit is working through us when a practitioner does their work. If we're praying for healing, oh my gosh, do we feel invigorated? If we're praying for love or good relationships, oh my gosh, that sense of being one with other people in the world is ours to share. Well, this is the very nature of a forgiveness prayer too. We pray for the other person because it not only enlivens them, it enlivens us. It gives us the sense of goodness once again. It raises our spirits as well. But let's talk for a moment about this idea of writing a forgiveness letter. It's something that I do from time to time myself, especially when I notice that issues from my past are coming back and occupying parts of my mind again. And I want to share a forgiveness letter that I wrote recently. There aren't too many things that I regret about my life, but there are a couple, right? I think I wouldn't be human if there weren't at least a few items in my life where I would have chosen maybe that things would have gone a little differently. And so I want to share a forgiveness letter that I wrote for myself. And this is one of the suggested steps that you could take on if you would like to do some forgiveness either for yourself or for someone else. So, dear former Larry, I'm writing to you today to wish you well and to let go of some of the resentments and regrets that I have about you and about things that you've done. Let me list a few of my beefs, and then I'd like to offer an olive branch. First, I would like to own up to the feelings of loneliness and unworthiness that led to 3 poor relationships. Yes, inexperience and others were also to blame, but the bulk of the responsibility was on me for not loving myself enough to expect better from life. Second, I would like to acknowledge the lost time that I spent drinking. Although I've learned a lot about myself and the world through alcoholism and the 12 steps, I resent the time this education took and the many messes that I had to clean up. Third, I would like to forgive myself with sticking with the phone company after it was no longer a useful or a pleasant place to work. In the name of heartfelt security, I gave up my creativity, my freedom, my integrity, and several years of my life. Okay, I acknowledge these mistakes, and I acknowledge my regrets and resentments, but I'm also willing to release them into the loving mind of God. God would easily choose to forgive me, and today I choose to forgive myself. I let go of the energy and attachment to these situations. I let go of any desire to change the past. I let go of any self-punishment or self-depreciation because of these situations. I let go of the fears that created them and the fear of not having enough. I give up the fear of abandonment. I let go of this former self with love, and I think he did the best he knew how to do at the time. I let the past stay in the past. I give up keeping these situations alive in my mind. What I know is that they have no power over me. They are simply things that happened. Today I choose to forgive myself that I might move forward without restriction or false belief. The future is what I make of it. It is a fresh start filled with love for myself and respect for who I am and what I accomplish. Kind regards, Larry. Well, today we've covered a number of things, and I'd like to review them for a moment. First of all, kindness is freedom from the past fears, past mistakes, and past negativity. Sometimes this means also letting go of people that may have served you at one time, but today just represent a negative influence of gossip or negative thinking and speaking. We also talked about forgiving others to free our mind so that we can start moving forward in love and prosperity. It's time to stop drinking the poison that we have made ourselves as we resent other people and hold them accountable for the negativity that we experience today. The negativity that we experience today is of our own making, and we have the ability to stop it. Finally, we talked about forgiving ourselves of mistakes, resentments, regret. We can stop rehashing the past, hoping for a different outcome, right? Is it time to get off that squirrel cage? I had a friend of mine say that, it was over a relationship that she had had many years earlier, and it seemed as though that man was still haunting her 30 years later. And she said she would wake up in the night replaying old negative events, replaying old conversations, as though somehow this squirrel cage of events that she kept replaying in her mind, as though somehow it would come out right if only she spent enough time thinking about it. What she came to realize, though, was that she had lost hours and days, maybe months of her time replaying the events. She had literally become almost a slave to her past. And it colored all of her current relationships, right? She was distrusting the men in her life, comparing them, or imagining that it could be like this previous relationship. She was even awkward at work around coworkers, thinking that one of them might treat her poorly as she had been treated. She was really using her past to predict negativity in the future. And what she finally had to do, and she did it through prayer. She used that technique that I talked about of actually praying for this predator, this negative influence in her past. She blessed him, she wished him well. Certainly, it didn't mean that what he did to her was appropriate. It in no way let him off some kind of cosmic or karmic hook, but it let her off the hook. She blessed him as one of God's creatures and turned over any sort of atonement, any sort of further processing. She turned it over to Spirit, allowing herself to be free. Well, I do have some homework for you, as you can imagine today. I would like you to list 5 things that you've done that you either regret or that don't seem resolved for you. So look back in your past and come up with 5 things that still occupy your mind from time to time. It may have been a mistake that you made with a friend. It might have been a business deal where you chose poorly. It might have been something that you stopped when you should have kept going. Some regret in particular that you have. I'd like you to list about 5 of them and then use one of the 2 techniques that we've talked about today to move through them, or at least to expose another layer of forgiveness and move forward. So you could write yourself a letter, write a letter to that former self, own up to the mistakes that former self made, and then bless them and move on. Or you might use prayer. You might say to yourself, I bless myself, I love myself, I let go of these resentments of the past. You might do a simple prayer of release and forgiveness for that former self, knowing that they are part of God always, knowing that they did the best that they knew how, but also on purpose releasing that need to rehash it, releasing that need to reprocess it, releasing that need for that prior event, that prior self to still be occupying and controlling your thoughts and outcomes for today. Well, I'm going to close with a quote from the book and a prayer. Julia Cameron says, "For the mistakes that we have made and the mistakes that we will make, we must forgive ourselves. Loneliness is what we feel when we push God out of our lives. Forgiving ourselves invites a higher power into our lives, easing our sense of isolation. In forgiving ourselves, we allow God to help us. In allowing God to help us, we open the door for true prosperity to enter into our lives." Let us pray. There is one power, one presence. There is one life. There is one joy, one peace. There's only this one thing. There is only Spirit taking the form and substance of all. And because it is all, I know it includes me. I know it includes me now. I know it includes me as I was 25 years ago. Spirit, right there, moving through each one of us. And so on this day, I claim that ability to forgive any mistakes that I have made. I would like to think I always tried to do my best, and whether that's true or not, I am deserving of a forgiveness for the things I have done that have harmed others and the things that I have done that has harmed my own life. I let go of those resentments. I let go of those regrets. And I free my heart to expand, to love, to be abundant, to be loved. And as it is true for me, I know it is true for everyone. Everyone has that capability of forgiveness. Everyone can set themselves upon a path of forgiving others, forgiving self, freeing our hearts to become simply more than we have ever been before. And so for this, I give great thanks. For this, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today it's our time of conscious contribution, and I'd like to invite you, if you would, to consider donating to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. If you go to our website at cslportland.org/donate, you'll see a variety of ways that you can contribute to the center, and we feel so blessed when you do so. But for now, I think it's time for Ken Brewer and the band to bless us with another song. A low steel, too? Oh, my gosh. How good can it get?
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I do declare freedom from yesterday. yesterday in my state of affairs. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am love and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you sing, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. Free from time, I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Sing together now, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now, right now. Tell you that all is well. Don't it feel good? All is well. It's just to know that all is well. So it's free from time. All I got to do is change my mind. I'm free now. All is well. Don't it feel good? All is well. And unfolding as it should.
Thank you. What a nice song to end the day on. A couple reminders before we close today. If you have felt motivated through my discussion of forgiveness today, please consider enrolling in Reverend Marilyn's Power of Forgiveness workshop. Again, a reminder, that's a one-day Saturday workshop coming up on November 13th. You can read more about it and sign up on our website, cslportland.org. Also would like to remind people of our Halloween party. Join Sandy and I in like half an hour, 12:30, on our Zoom meeting room, our Zoom party room. The details for joining us for that are also on our website, cslportland.org. And finally, I want to remind people about prayer support. We are here to support you, of course, with prayer. If there's something going on in your life where you'd like to see a change, if there's something going on in your life that you'd like to see enhanced, might be more love, more life, more health, please consider submitting a prayer request online with us. It's automatically emailed out to all of our licensed practitioners and all of our ministers. It's at the bottom of every single one of our web pages. Just fill out that short form, and we'll begin praying for you throughout the week. But now I think we'll close in song.
It's the truth of who I am. If I forget, Spirit reminds the truth of who we are. Shine our light near, yes, near and far. We are love, we are loving, we are love. You are love, you are loving, you are love. I am love, I am loving, I am
If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.